So, how...
Hattie? Is that you talking? Alright, we're hearing disembodied voices, but unfortunately we're changing out equipment when we hear the disembodied voices, so... And right before I turned this camera on, I heard a disembodied voice of a female come from upstairs there. While doing investigations on this particular night, we've had problems hearing what these spirits are saying while using a spirit box and ghost box. It seems like more activity was going on in the living room, and on the front porch, we set up to investigate the front porch in hopes we can clearly hear what these spirits are trying to say. Seems like you guys can talk better in the living room tonight. In real time, Frost and I did not hear the spirit say this. When going back viewing the recorded evidence, it's responses like this that always leave you in a state of shock. No matter how many times these spirits respond to the situation, it always leaves you in complete amazement. Hello?
Oh, what's that?
Hi. We're going out on the porch, okay? We're just going to be outside the door here.
Okay. You can leave.
You ready to set up out here?
Yeah.
I'm not leaving.
Huh?
The battery in my night vision camera was low. I come inside the house to go upstairs to grab another battery. Once again, when I come into the house, these spirits respond to me. Hello?
Would you guys like to let Kent or me know something important that you could tell us tonight?
Another thing amazing when doing these investigations is when these spirits start talking with each other, and this is captured on recording. There's times these spirits get aggravated because we don't hear them in real time. Some of them are desperate and want help. Later on during these investigations, a spirit in the basement will call me out by name and says he hates me. Not all these spirits will be happy, and not all of them will like you. And some of them can't stand visitors in the house. You guys here? Go ahead and open that door wide open. You guys here? It can be really aggravating both to the investigator and these spirits when you cannot hear them in real time. It sounds like these spirits are desperate for help, and then I go and ask a stupid question that's not relevant to what they're trying to say, and this can aggravate them. Who's out here with us right now? Help? Now that we understand what these spirits are trying to ask for, we start talking to them about their situation. One of the spirits speaking with us during this investigation is a suicide victim. We do not mention this person's name in this video. There's no doubt one of these spirits is asking us for help. However, there is a spirit that becomes angered.
I feel I just heard you a couple of minutes ago.
If you have any doubts about spirits using the sound wave energy from a spirit box, listen to this closely.
Is there a child spirit with us tonight? I just heard your voice.
Child spirit. Did you hear that?
Yes. I understood because I was asking for child spirit and I thought this voice said child spirit.
Yeah. That was creepy.
This was... Who played with our dolls tonight?
Frost stepped into the house for a couple minutes. When he was coming back out the door, I heard my name called out so loud that at first I thought it was Frost. This sounded like a disembodied voice. However, the voice was quite creepy. Did you just say Kent?
Me?
No. He just said Kent, but you just didn't come out and said Kent?
No.
Right when you're getting ready to come out that door, I heard this creepy voice say Kent.
I did not say your name.
Then right after I say that, the spirit box says Kent.
Wow.
This is the investigations of Lamb House where King Frost came to visit. These are the encounters that leave you with no doubt there are spirits among us. Just tried to get to you so we can get pet more.
I'm busy right now. Later.
Do you guys want the cat up here? Do you remember his name? I know I just captured an EVP.
I've heard it.
Yeah.
I've heard the voice.
Yeah.
Super faint from here though.
I'll have to slow that down because that was real fast.
Let's do it.
It sounded like static electricity in my ear. Do you remember his name?
I've heard some. I wonder if I caught it as well.
Alright. I just wanted to come up and say hi real quick. We'll be up here later tonight. I want to go listen to that.
Yeah.
Are you trying to talk to me? Is that why I'm hearing sounds in my ear? Are you here? Hello? Anybody out here? If there's one thing I've learned while doing these investigations is that spirits will in fact use sound waves to communicate. This is another good example. When a car drives by the front of this house, the sound waves that this car puts out, a female spirit uses the sound waves to communicate. When this car went by, there was no car radio on. This is clearly an EVP.
No car all the time. No, there's one.
Frost is here. Spirits don't always have the right amount of energy to communicate. When there are high energy boosts in the lamb house, spirits will use this energy to communicate by means of EVPs. If energy levels are high enough, you will hear their disembodied voice. Many skeptics doubt the validity of a spirit box. Some organizations even claim the spirit box has been debunked. I have read articles relating to why a spirit box is debunked. The only information given to debunk a spirit box is a personal opinion with no scientific data to back this opinion. For the past 2 years, I have performed multiple tests using sound wave energy as a form to communicate with these spirits at the lamb house. If used properly, a spirit box is one of the best tools used, giving these spirits the sound wave energy needed to communicate. If you run the spirit box rotations too slow, you cannot generate enough sound wave static energy for spirits to use. Also, by running rotation speeds too slow, you get more radio chatter. Here is a good example. When properly using a spirit box, spirits can in fact use this energy to communicate. Can you guys see us? Do you know where we're sitting right now, by chance? And then there are times when a spirit's getting ready to use the spirit box to speak with us. Even when the spirit box suddenly goes off, you can hear their voice. Listen closely. Kimball?
Kimball? 1 second.
Could this once again been the ghost of Elizabeth Kimball, who used to live down the street here from the Lamb House back in the 1800s? He goes by Frost. Yeah, you like him? Yeah?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah? Frost is setting up the equipment to do an interview with me for a project he's working on. While setting up the equipment, we hear disembodied voices, strange sounds in the house. Frost even heard footsteps behind him. I turn record on real quick to see if we can capture anything while he's setting this up. We're getting set up to do the shooting interview.
Yes.
And while we're doing this, we're experiencing paranormal activity. Earlier, we heard a disembodied voice. I just heard one in the kitchen.
Yes, and a couple of steps.
And you heard footsteps.
Right behind me.
So as usual, while we're getting stuff set up to do this video shoot, seems like these spirits are watching us, kind of curious what we're doing, I guess.
It would make sense, right? It's
Yeah.
New stuff happening,
Yeah.
you could say.
It's been kind of interesting so far, huh?
It has been. Still is.
A little while ago, we were upstairs doing video shoots, And we heard a disembodied voice of a female, I think twice.
Yeah, it was twice.
And then all of a sudden I had the cold feelings all around my arms, like something was holding onto my arm. It was strange.
Yeah, that happened. That's true. While we were just filming something for our little documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Just got interrupted by
That little voice.
the voice, yeah. Fascinating. You hear something?
Yeah, it came from the dining room.
Fascinating. 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 You hear something?
Yeah, it came from the dining room.
I was talking over it, of course.
Oh. Hello? Were you watching what we're doing? This is all about you guys. Moving on the steps. Once again, while we're working on this project, we are interrupted again with paranormal activity. And once again, I turn record on to see if we can capture anything. Hello? The activity seemed to be picking up in the dining room area. We grab our equipment and start recording. Did you hear that? No. Are you guys in here? You trying to get our attention? You guys want to say something? Elizabeth. Abby. Hattie. As many times as I've done paranormal investigations in this house, I noticed something looked strange about the window behind the cat. This was abnormally dark, as if some figure was standing there in the window looking at me. I normally don't point this stuff out. In real time, this looks strange. To the naked eye, this looked extremely black. I will point this out, but as viewers, you decide. Apparition or pareidolia? We were just doing an interview in the living room, and there's all kind of activity stuff going on in here. We decided to stop the interview and turn on our recording devices and see what's going on, but this house is kind of getting active right now. Been hearing voices. And then we've been hearing strange sounds that doesn't make sense. I mean, things that you don't normally hear. Stuff you just can't make out what it is. Edmund! I think there's a strong possibility Frost heard this voice say, "Get out," based on the look on his face. I talked to Frost after I went through some of these recordings. So much activity took place, it's hard to remember which incident took place without looking at the recordings. All right, we're going to go back to recording. Okay. You guys trying to tell us something? Whoa. Whoa. Playing at the basement door. What was that? Sounded like something moved right behind me in this wall. Hello?
Again, when I was like earlier in here, it was super weird when I heard those footsteps and
You heard the footsteps?
like a male, something
Yeah.
like that, you know, something distant.
Like a moan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was not female, it was definitely, I think, male.
Alright guys, we're going to go back to our interview, okay? The more time Frost spends in the Lamb House, the more activity he's experiencing. There are times these encounters can be quite startling. What sounded like movement in the wall was actually a disembodied voice of a male spirit, And then when you hear the creepy female voices coming from the basement, this adds to the shock of these encounters. Everyone in the family, including myself, is heard talking in this house as if people were in the house carrying on conversations with each other. Many occasions while up in my room, I've heard conversations going on downstairs. I would come downstairs thinking family came home. There was nobody in the house. Everyone in the family who stayed in this house for any length of time has experienced this phenomenon. In my case, I heard females carrying on conversations. Sounded like it was coming downstairs from the kitchen. Before I believed in the paranormal, I really thought I was losing my mind when this happened. After other family members talked with me about these same experiences, I had no explanation what this could be. After starting these investigations, I would set cameras up in the house with hopes of capturing this activity on recordings. Although short EVPs or brief disembodied voices were captured, I was never able to capture full conversations. Until now. During Frost's visit, we heard the disembodied voices in the house. Every time we turned on our recordings, it would stop. Before setting up the spirit box in the living room, I set up the amplified mic in the dining room with hopes of capturing these disembodied voices. To my surprise, the amplified mic captured the voice of a female talking, as if she was having a conversation with someone in the house. This is the first time I've been able to capture this type of activity on recording. During this part of the investigation, Frost and I were the only ones in the house. Viewers wearing headphones or earbuds, I would highly recommend you remove the devices from your ears now. The volume is exceptionally high due to the use of the amplified mic. Listen closely.
What's over here?
Yeah, I need to shut that heater off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to shut that heater off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to shut that heater off.
Yeah.
As we're getting ready to head into the basement, we hear two loud thump knocks. These thump sounds were strange. We couldn't even tell where they came from.
No way, that wasn't you?
That was not me. They know we're coming.
Wow.
Yeah, you got that on camera?
I do.
Okay, no, that was not me.
Wow.
As I'm walking down the steps, I hear strange whispers in my ear. I came to a stop and started listening, and I responded by saying hello. Hello? Hello? Turn the heater off so it don't kick on while we're down here. We're going to do a spirit box session here in this basement. I decided to go ahead and set up another camera upstairs in the kitchen while we're downstairs in this basement. I'm going to leave Frost down here alone. You guys down here? Edmund? Hold on, let me go up here real quick. You don't mind getting hold on here, do you? Closing that door to avoid any
Sure.
contaminated noise.
Yeah, for sure.
Grandson's home.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the infamous Nam house. Basement. Nam house. Basement. Nam house. Basement. Nam house. Basement.
Anybody down here? Edmund. Hattie. Who's down here right now? At this time, we don't hear or see anything paranormal related in the basement. We decide to go to another section of the house and investigate. Later this evening, we'll come back down to the basement and try a spirit box session. You have your spirit box?
Oh no, that's true.
Hello? We're down in the basement now. Why are you down here?
It's coming from the hole.
It's like there's movement upstairs.
It's cracking back there for sure from upstairs, yeah.
It's too cold outside to put the cats in the garage tonight. There's a good possibility the movement sounds we hear upstairs could be coming from the cats. To make sure, I'm going to set up another camera upstairs in the kitchen so we know later on when we view these recordings if it's the cats or if this is paranormal related.
Guys, is anybody with us is anybody with us tonight down here? Feel free to talk to us. Kent is setting the camera up upstairs. Touch that. Quiet the whole time. Hello? You hear Kent? Is there anything you would like us to know? Is there anything you would like to tell us? Why you are down here?
Yeah. There's a loud boom upstairs.
What's this?
There are times these spirits say things so fast in real time, you cannot understand what they said unless you slow it down. This is a good example you know you captured real EVPs while using a spirit box. Also, based on the tone in this spirit's voice, I highly doubt a demon got him. For reasons unknown, some spirits say off-the-wall things such as this. Was his spirit joking around, or was he trying to scare us?
What's this?
Hello? Is there anything you guys want to talk about? Help? Are you trapped? Is this why you're asking for help? Quit walking. Trapped? Need some help? What?
I mean, it's super clean. Was it heavy?
What?
Quit walking.
Yeah? Where are you trapped at? Where are you at right now? Basement? Where are you trapped at? Where are you at right now? Basement? What's trapping you down here? How is it that you're trapped in this basement? Is somebody trapping you down here? Or is something trapping you down here? Frost's camera light suddenly goes out. The batteries in his camera light were completely drained. At this time, Frost has a strange look on his face. I think in his thoughts this was really strange how his camera light just suddenly shuts off and drained. Your battery die in your camera? Your light? Huh?
Did you drain my battery of the light?
Slide on.
That never happened.
It just went out.
And I loaded it before we started. It never was out.
Did you not like his light? Alright, we're gonna leave the basement, alright? Thank you for talking.
Thank you. You come with us more upstairs.
Friday night has arrived. Cleve, Greg, Sabre come to the Lamb House. We do a live paranormal investigation. The spirit box is going upstairs. We've got the Connect recording down here. And I'm also going to turn on the ghost box down here, but I'm going to put the static on really low just to see if we capture anything down here. Okay, so we'll go upstairs on the spirit box. Hello?
Wow, I can't believe that. That's insane.
We're going upstairs. You can come up there. You can come up with us.
I leave this camera going down here because every time we have people here that sell apparitions in the kitchen, so I leave this camera going here.
Hi. Yeah, that was clear.
There's a lot of activity captured during these investigations here at the Lamb House I leave out of these videos. I have personal reasons for leaving certain captures out. I'm going to allow viewers the opportunity to hear some of what these spirits say, things I normally don't allow in the videos. It's important people understand some of the things faced when doing these investigations. There are things spirits say during these encounters at times can be quite depressing. I want you guys to know that when I do the Ghosts of Carmel, Maine videos, I want you to understand it's normal for a lot of these spirits that say they want help. And this is a live feed, and there's a lot of this stuff that I don't put into videos, but you're going to hear a lot of help me's tonight. I want everybody to understand that these are a lot of spirits, and a lot of them are asking for help, and I can only do what I can do, one person at a time, trying to figure out why are they asking for help, and try to figure out what their stories are and what they need. I've found a lot of these spirits, when they ask for help, a lot of them are wanting you to listen to them because something may have happened with them. They might be looking for somebody that also died, and there's a number of different reasons why they ask for help. guys here tonight? Seems like you are. A lot of you have something to say. Yeah?
Wow, I love that. Ooh, that was scary sounding.
Dark? What's dark? Is the place you at dark? While we were upstairs doing the spirit box session, this was captured in the living room while the ghost box was running. What's captured here took place within a 2-minute span. This will give you an idea of what's said in some of these investigations. At the end of this video, I will go into more details about some of these encounters and what took place during this investigation. What? Help?
There's a lot coming through tonight.
No.
This is very active.
Do you want to tell us something specific tonight, guys? Something important?
You know, I want to ask you guys something while we're here. Is Elizabeth still around? She's outside?
Wow.
What's she out front?
I think it's hot.
I heard she's outside.
He's outside? Then
Yeah.
That's probably right.
Why is Elizabeth outside?
Val?
Found?
Say you found her.
Found her outside.
Who found her outside?
Whoa.
Is Edmund here? hour ago? Edmund? Patty? Are you guys here? There's so many voices tonight, so much stuff. I'd have to go back and listen to the recordings.
There's a lot of information.
Way too much going on tonight.
Whoa, what was that?
Was it the box?
Not long ago, I heard from a suicide victim during one of my investigations. While Frost was here, we heard from him during our investigation. Out of respect for his family, his name has been left out of this video. However, what I did keep in this video is what spirits say who are victims of suicide and what other spirits say about suicide. Most suicide victims say they are trapped and they ask for help. I believe they become trapped in the same state of mind when they committed suicide. The only difference now, they asked for help, whereas while alive they did not seek help from others. This particular incident is unique. This suicide victim wants help and is willing to talk. I personally believe there are dark forces that work on the living, breaking them down mentally to a point they take their own life. What they didn't realize by taking their life, their state of mind goes with them into the afterlife. They become stuck and feel trapped. I want to encourage anyone who feels the need to take your life. Seek help now. Talk with a close friend, a family member, a pastor. If you're in school, talk with your school counselor. If all else fails, call the suicide hotline. Talk with somebody about what you're going through. Taking your own life does not end the anguish you're going through. It only carries into the afterlife. Based on what I've heard from these spirits during these investigations, some spirits seem to have broken free from their dilemmas, Rachel being one of them. The first time I heard from this male suicide victim, Rachel stepped in and had something to say to him. But you're not going to find that peace as long as you're holding on to why you took your life, what caused you to do it. I don't fully understand what's going on in the spirit realms. I do have personal opinions, but until I really know, I try to keep these opinions out of these videos. I do know there's more going on than what we can comprehend. There is no doubt something is going on with Elizabeth, Abby, and a child. Understanding what happened and what's going on with them in the spirit realm is a long process. And I have no doubt the spirit of Edmund and Hattie is among us. During these investigations, I gather as much information as possible, trying to fit the pieces of the puzzle together. Unfortunately, these spirits don't always know the concept of time. What's days to us could be seconds to them. There are many times when asking them questions to gain an understanding of what they are talking about. In our time, it could be days before you hear the answer. With every investigation, more information is gathered. We cannot jump to conclusions by thinking we know and understand their situations. When a spirit says, "Help me," we must understand what they mean by this. Gaining an understanding is a long process. I will continue these investigations to learn. But if there is an understanding I do have, this is an understanding that there are in fact ghosts among us.